You're here because you're constantly seeking validation in your relationships. You are overthinking all the time and you're thinking about all the ways that your partner is going to leave you, which leads you to create problems in your head and bring it up and create just more drama into your relationship, sabotaging yourself and this relationship you have built. That probably means you have an anxious attachment style, so don't worry because your online bestie is here and I got you. Hello everyone, I'm Charlize Chu, the host of the Online Bestie podcast, where I talk about all things glow up, self-care, relationship, so we can all be the best version of ourselves. If you like this episode, then make sure to rate and review if you're listening on Spotify, and like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Thank you. So I am an anxious attachment girly, okay? And I was not born like this, okay? I have developed this as I got older, especially throughout college when I started dating more. It gets so bad that I need to read all these self-help books. I go to coaching for this because this is also not an easy thing to heal and just learn. So if you're also an anxious person and you are exhausted of this constant cycle, then I'm going to teach you how to become more secure. Also, don't beat yourself too much up about this because this is, like I said, a long healing process. It is a healing process within yourself, your relationship with relationships, and healing your inner child. Attachment styles, they stem from either your experiences with relationships, or they could stem from your relationship with your parents, or just how you grew up and the environment you grew up around and what you were taught. And I need you guys to remember that being anxious does not mean you are a bad person. It does not mean you are an unhealthy person. This is simply just how you were taught. You are not the only anxious person ever. There are so many anxious people out there. There are so many people with other different types of attachment styles too, which I will get into in the rest of this episode. But you are taking the time right now to learn how to overcome it. So you should be proud of yourself for that. I always want you guys to remember to be proud of yourself for being here and taking the time to just listen to an episode like this, because that is the first and biggest step that many people are not willing to even take. So first we're going to talk about understanding anxious attachment styles. Like, what even is that? When I found out that I was more of an anxious attachment person, I didn't know what that was. I just thought that I had anxiety, period. I would just try to find ways to distract myself, which is not always the best thing to do because you are avoiding the problem rather than trying to figure out how to heal it. Here are the signs that you might be an anxious attachment person. You are the type of person when you are in a relationship that you constantly need validation. You need love and affection all the time. Especially for my long distance people out there, long distance can be so hard because you don't have that physical presence of your partner. Next, you are constantly overthinking, that it literally keeps you up at night. Like, you cannot sleep. And these aren't even problems that have happened already. These are problems that you just create in your head, or maybe you were scrolling on Instagram too long and you realize, hey, I saw this person do this for their partner. Why didn't my partner do this for me? Oh my God, does my partner not love me anymore? Or when your partner is having a bad day and their mood is a little bit off, you suddenly think it's about you. You're like, oh my goodness, my partner hates me. They're gonna leave me soon. You also believe that if any issues were to occur or you make a mistake, that means your partner is going to hate you and leave you. This could be something with past relationships, if your past relationships were very avoidant, or it could be how your parents were growing up. Were your parents very on and off with the love that they give you? Like, one minute they give you so much love, the next minute they're very upset with you. So let's get into the other attachment styles, because it is very important to understand just everybody's attachment style in general, so you know what type of person you should be dating and what type of person you should be avoiding. We're going to talk about avoidant attachment styles first, because avoidant and anxious people, they love to date each other and create more problems. An avoidant attachment style is literally the complete opposite of an anxious person. An avoidant prioritizes their independence and their independence only. They do not know how to balance an independent lifestyle with a relationship. And when someone is showing them way too much affection, they get scared and run away, or they feel threatened. avoidant people believe that relationships are bringing them down and sabotaging them. And they are never satisfied and are constantly looking for the perfect one, when in reality there isn't the perfect one. I find it very helpful to, instead of thinking about dating red flags and green flags, it's better to think about, am I dating someone who is avoidant, anxious, or secure? And just like anxious people, avoidant people can look very differently within every different type of relationship. Like, avoidant people can be seen in a long-term relationship as well. However, they may be in this long-term relationship, but they're constantly looking at other people. They are constantly wanting to have some time away from their partner. They are not present in the actual relationship. Why do anxious people and avoidant people like each other so much? Well, it's because they reaffirm each other's beliefs. Because anxious people believe that what they want in a relationship is too much, while avoidant people think that other people want too much from them. And because we just naturally feel very safe in the environment that we're used to, and just being in a situation that we were taught, we are attracted to those type of people. You know, like us anxious people, we are attracted to avoidant people because it's like reaffirming that what we think about ourselves is true. And when we are constantly with avoidant people, we're thinking to ourselves, you know what, maybe there is something wrong with me and I am asking for too much and I need to stop asking for anything. And a relationship should heal you. So if you're an anxious person, you should not feel even more anxious when you're with someone. You should feel secure and healed. So let's talk about secure people and the people that we anxious people should be dating. So secure people value their independence, but they also know the importance of having a real, genuine relationship. Whenever you have a problem, a secure person would listen to that problem and take it into consideration and learn how to make you feel better about it rather than avoid the problem or make you feel worse. They are not defensive at all. They will not get angry for you telling them what you want. If you want more affection, they will find a way to give you that more affection. And a secure person knows that one argument will not affect and destroy the entire relationship. They will not see you as that one flaw that you created. If anything, they see arguments as a lesson to build your relationship to be even stronger. Secure people are also not like us. They do not worry about you breaking up with them all the time. They know that you're always gonna be there for them, and they are able to just live their life freely and know that you guys are gonna be okay. Which is why sometimes anxious people get so anxious too, even when they're with a secure person, because the secure person is so secure that sometimes they're just like, oh yeah, everything's fine, like la la la, I'm living my life. But us anxious people, all we think about is the relationship, and we're like, oh my god, why aren't you texting me this second right now? Because secure people will confidently say what they want when something is wrong and set their boundaries. While anxious people, we don't really say what is wrong, and I'm gonna get into that. So now you know to avoid avoidant people and look for secure people. And in order to know who is avoidant, who is secure, is just by their behaviors from what I told you today in this episode. And also that means from the start, as soon as you start dating someone, you need to tell them what you want. And if they react very badly when you tell them you want certain things, then they are probably avoidant. But if they're secure, they will react very well, they will give you what you need, and that is the partner that you should be dating. You need to remember that you cannot rely just on the partner to heal your anxious attachment styles, okay? You need to put in the work yourself to heal your own anxious attachment styles. So how can we become more secure? First, try to identify the triggers that is causing you to feel anxious. For me, that is sometimes scrolling on social media too much. I really am a big stalker. I love stalking the people that I'm dating. I love stalking who they're following, what photos they're liking, what they're tagged in. But then I realized that causes a lot of overthinking in my head, and I need to stop doing that. So I don't do that anymore. Sometimes I slip, but for the most part I don't do that anymore. Another trigger could be when your partner's mood is off, you're gonna suddenly overthink and think that something is wrong with you. Or a trigger could be if your partner takes this amount of time to text you back, if your partner doesn't text you good morning or good night. Are those triggers for you? What are things that you know will make you feel some sort of way? Because once you know those things, you can be able to prepare yourself for when those situations do happen. You know that you're going to start feeling a little bit anxious. And what you want to do, as soon as you get that feeling, you want to acknowledge what is causing it. Tell your partner if you think it's worth telling your partner, which most of the time it is worth telling your partner. Because if we don't address the issue right away, we're going to start to get very anxious, which means our emotions will get very intense and we will start creating all these different problems. So let's say your partner didn't text you good morning. Okay, you're gonna start to feel a little bit upset, but you're like, okay, whatever, it's fine. My partner is probably busy this morning, it's okay. But then that issue doesn't go away. It's gonna keep building up and you're gonna come up with so many reasons as to why your partner didn't text you good morning. You're gonna be like, oh my God, but what if my partner's annoyed by me? Does that mean my partner's upset? Does that mean my partner's cheating on me? Is my partner gonna break up with me? Oh my God, should I be upset at my partner? And then you have so many thoughts in your head that you forget what the root of the problem was. And the root of the problem was just simply, I just wanted a good morning text. So for secure people, you know, for them, whenever they feel an issue, it's so easy for them to just say right away, like, hey, you didn't text me, like, what's going on? Are you okay? But for us anxious people, it's like, because we overthink so much, if our partner starts to ask us what's wrong, sometimes it's hard for us to say what's wrong. Maybe the root of the issue is that you didn't text me this morning, but at this point I'm already at like thought 250, and that thought is you're cheating on me. So when my partner asks, hey, what's wrong? Oh, you're cheating on me. But is that really the issue? You're just accusing your partner at this point, and we do not want to accuse anybody ever, because that is going to make people feel bad. You know, you have to think about your partner's feelings as well, because anxious people, we tend to think about our own feelings a lot because, like I said, the emotions are so intense. We just think about what our partner could be doing wrong rather than what we might be doing wrong, because we also know that we just love our partner so much that we assume that our partner should already know that we love them so much. But in reality, your partner does not know what's going on in your head, just like you don't know what's going on in your partner's head. Make sure to take in consideration of your partner's thoughts and feelings. Because even though, let's say you are dating a secure person, if you are constantly playing these tricky games and accusing them, they can turn into an anxious person. Just like how you might have become an anxious person because of your past relationships. I became an anxious person because a lot of my past relationships were very avoidant, but before that I was a pretty secure partner. Don't think that you can't turn your partner into a more avoidant or anxious partner too, which is why it's very important that you take the time to heal yourself as well. So when we feel anxious and we know what the problem is, set your boundary and say what you want, because whatever you feel like you want is valid. And usually it's not even a big ask. Asking someone to send you a good morning text, I'm telling you, it's very easy. It takes 5 seconds. Even let's say your partner is at work and they are super busy all the time at 9 to 5, but you feel very insecure about them not messaging you. It's not a big ask to just ask them to shoot you a simple text at least one time a day in the middle of the afternoon. I know right now in your head, you probably think that that is a huge ask because you know your partner is busy at work all the time, but if you just ask your partner, hey, you know what I need is just a simple text saying, I miss you throughout the day. That will literally take your partner 5 seconds. And if you are with a secure partner, they probably are like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. And even if your partner is super busy, they are secure, they can reaffirm you and reassure you and say, oh, you know what, I am super busy, so some days I may not be able to send you that text, but I hope you know that I do think about you throughout the day. I'm just super busy. And that will probably make you feel so much better as to if you never said what you needed and you just are probably thinking, oh, my partner just doesn't ever think about me throughout the day. So what happens if we don't acknowledge what we feel? We go into this thing called protest behavior. Protest behaviors, think of it as if you were a child who got their candies taken away by your parent. You're gonna throw a tantrum. You're gonna protest because you wanted that candy. That is like what we basically do. We throw tantrums. And that could be spam texting our partner because they aren't responding. Or if our partner took this many hours to respond, we're gonna take this many hours to reply. This could be us acting very cold and angry to our partner and not telling them why, us just creating assumptions in our head and criticizing our partner for it. The reason why we do this is because we feel very threatened And we do these things to build up like a defense mechanism because we think that it will protect us from getting hurt. But in reality, this behavior will just create more problems and probably hurt you even more because your partner's gonna realize, hey, you're ignoring me or you're spamming me, like what's wrong? And then it'll get your partner upset and then you're upset, and we just do not want that. And something I need you guys to understand as anxious people is that secure partners will not play games. When I moved to New York City, I was constantly taught that you need to play games in a relationship. It's a very push and pull thing. Like, they take this many hours to text you, you need to take double the amount of time to text them back. Or one day you should text them and then the next day you should completely ghost them, which is so insane now that I think about it. Like, that is so much energy that you are putting into this relationship, and it's not doing anything but making the relationship super unhealthy. If you want to be a healthy partner, you are just going to set your boundary, be straightforward. If that person that you are seeing does not like those boundaries that you have set or does not meet what you want, then that is not your person, because I promise you there is someone out there who can meet your standards. Especially when it comes to dating for the first time, a lot of us anxious people, we like to try to hide that anxiety and be like, okay, we're not actually anxious and crazy. And we try to be really nonchalant. Once you start developing the relationship and you guys actually start dating and you pull out that anxious attachment side, it's like you're a completely different person than when that person started dating you. And this person might be an avoidant dater and they realize, oh, I can't deal with this is too much, and leave. So if you are anxious and you need certain things like getting a good morning text or FaceTiming at least this many times a day, you need to say that from the beginning. And if they cannot meet that, then you need to let them go. Because if you're dating someone and you need certain things and your partner's not giving that to you, you're just gonna constantly be frustrated and upset, and it's not gonna be a healthy relationship. And honestly, setting your boundaries, saying what you want, and just being confident about it is so much more attractive than hiding what you feel and then getting upset and acting out. Because there's also this misconception of I don't chase, I attract, which a lot of people think that I don't chase, I attract means that you should never say what you want. That's not what I don't chase, I attract is, okay? Or that's not at least what it should be. You should say what you want. And if that person cannot give that to you, then you leave. Because in order to attract certain things, you need to manifest it by saying it out to existence, right? If you want a romantic date, you know, sometimes you need to say that, hey, I want a romantic date. They give you the romantic date and they know that that's what you want, so from now on they will continue giving you that romantic date. If you say I want a romantic date and they're like, that is too much, you don't deserve it, okay, now you know right then and there that that is not your person. And that is so much better, knowing as soon as possible that you don't need to waste your time on someone anymore, rather than putting so much time and effort into someone who wasn't your person all along. And a lot of people always think it's so crazy that I was the one in my current relationship who told my boyfriend that I liked him, but I just knew what I wanted. It worked out perfectly for me because I knew what I wanted, I got it, and it's amazing. But that isn't to say that I am not still an anxious girl, and I am still working on it. Like I said, this is just such a long and tedious process, but as long as you're continuing to learn and be the best version of yourself and tap into that highest version, then you will be on that path to security. And also remember to prioritize yourself, because that is how a secure person would act, okay? Because you already know how important this relationship is to you, right? So I need you to remember how important you are to you. Like, you need to remember that you are going to be okay with or without this relationship, because you will always have yourself. And if, let's say, the relationship you are in has ended, that is not the end of the world. You will find someone who will treat you better or treat you the way that you want, because that person that you dated before is not the only person in the world. Okay, we are on that part of the episode where I read in the comments that you guys sent in. The first one says, "Thank you for your videos. I recently discovered your channel and it helped me a lot. It also gives me something to look forward to on Sundays. Thank you." This is so sweet. Thank you for sending this in. I love knowing that you guys tune in every Sunday, because I love posting this on Sunday, because for Reset Sunday, like, I will be like doing chores while listening to a good podcast, and just knowing that you guys take the time to listen to each episode really warms my heart and motivates me to keep creating this. So thank you. This next one says, thank you so much for making content like this. It truly makes my day 100 times better. It makes me 100 times better. Thank you. I am so glad that this is making you feel better about yourself. That is my only goal with these episodes. And not only am I helping you, but you guys are helping me too, because knowing that I have this community to support me is the reason why I can even make videos like this. Your comment and your support is also helping us be best versions of ourselves. And this last one says, this isn't a glow up story, but I feel like you are always there at the perfect time because I just got out of a friend breakup and this really helped me. I am so glad to hear that this is helping you. I'm sorry about your friend breakup. I know those suck. The fact that you are taking time to listen to episodes like these show that you are on that healing process and you are glowing up. So if you want me to read your comment for the next episode, then make sure to send it in on Spotify or comment below on this YouTube video. I hope you guys liked this episode. I enjoy talking about a topic like this because it is so true and important to me as someone who is still learning to heal my anxious attachment. And I know that not everybody can go to therapy or go to coaching for stuff like this, so I love to bring what I learned to you guys for free. Make sure to like and subscribe or rate and review, and I will see you guys on the next Reset Sunday episode. Bye!